Welcome to Gift Friday. Goodness to you. And I say goodness because I don't know whether you're watching morning, afternoon, or evening. But isn't it great to have good in front of your salutation? And in fact, goodness, because I'm recording in the evening so that you can have the message sometime during the day. I'm going to be away this weekend, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. But welcome to Gift Friday. I created it because so often we hear people say TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. But I say, what allure does Friday have to the person who took their last breath on Thursday? Therefore, I've learned to use what I learned through Psalm 92 and 2. And that is, it is good to proclaim your unfailing love in the morning, your faithfulness in the evening. And so instead of using TGIF, what I use is TGIT. Not thank God it's Thursday, but TGIT, thank God it's today. And then TGIT, thank God it's tonight. Thus, I get to add the lesson in Matthew 6 and 34. So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Thank God it's tonight. Today's trouble is enough for today. Thank God it's today. Darkness always precedes the light. And I offer first another use for TGIF, and that is trusting God is free. Think about what it costs to be blessed with the greatest gift of the day, waking up. Doesn't cost you a dime. And that still moves us into realizing that when we move the T and TGIF to the end, we find what we really must give God thanks for. And that is today. GIFT. God is for today. Gift Friday is the online sharing of one of my original poems or poetic messages. And then its possible uses to inspire audiences online, in person, or in spirit. Each poem will then be my gift to you. So here you hear me read and share this week's gift. Then I'll post it in the thread on Facebook or LinkedIn. If you want a copy and you're on YouTube or on my website, request that in the comments, not the thread. The thread gets erased after the broadcast, or shoot on over to Facebook or LinkedIn and download a copy. Or option number 3, send me an email at sporty@sportyking.com and I'll make sure I send you one. But meanwhile, this weekend, I'll be speaking with members of the Army Reserve who are getting ready to deploy. As I talk about the impact on different parts of their lives and the adjustments they'll experience, here's what I'll say regarding the parent who stays at home, who may or may not be in attendance. So the message is more for the soldier's psyche. You see, during these events, our service members are encouraged to bring their family members, but they don't always have that opportunity to. So especially think of a young couple, which is what I'm thinking about in a way, who has never really had this type of a separation. And we need to be honest about what may happen as maybe a new marriage. You know, somebody gets married and 3 months later, if they're in the military, they may be getting deployed. So this is something that I'll be telling, just a part of my presentation. Spouses and partners, you may possibly become dual heads of household. Everyone, know now that you'll have to begin the process of redating your mate. It may seem like standard operating procedure, yet your partner does not have to wait and support you. There have been breakups and divorces due to deployment. So think about what you've done over the years as you were building your relationship. You've helped one another through tough times or come through when you thought no one else would. Commit your focus to the fact that the relationship once worked and it will continue to work. Think about how you'll grow and want this to work. And it's not going to be an IOU. It's an I value. Love, LOVE. Let ourselves value everyone. Focus on the value. What do you have to do to strengthen the bond while separated? It's not easy, especially when you marry young. But know now that you will experience the constant challenge of who's in charge of what mission. In other words, whose turn is it to be compassionate and understanding about what the other is going through? Try not to keep score and try harder not to run up the score. I'll then offer them what I offer you here each week on Gift Friday, to send them a colorful PDF copy of the poem from my book, Do You Have Any Idea How Fine You Are? A poetic tribute to God's greatest gift to and source of mankind, women. The message in this poem aims and introduces itself to men. Yet you also hear an element of the reciprocity that romance requires. Here's the intro in the book. Gentlemen, how important is it to date your mate? Well, how about very? You see, it's not always about the dinners, trips, or gifts. Sometimes it's just about doing that something special that lets her know she's on your mind. It's dropping your guard or respecting the fact that there's no other woman quite like her in your life. Here's Date Your Mate. May I suggest, if her name was once Sweetheart and his Honey, that you continue to say them with no bite, and that one of you has to wonder what surprise you have to make this a special night. Look, I don't care if you've gotten older or put on a little weight. It takes some work to stay in love. You've got to date your mate. Flowers are supposed to bloom and wither so they can be renewed. And fellas, if you start, then stop sending them. She'll get them from some other dude. Now hold on, ladies. Don't accept those replacement flowers so fast. How much are you doing of what you did to get them in the past? If you were a gentleman who opened every door, don't suddenly wake up one day and act like it's such a chore. Don't switch to unscented soap if you once wore cologne. And if you do, don't wonder why she spends so much time on the phone. Remember, if it was a whiff of your perfume that made him stick out his chest and spread his plume, no matter how many children or situations, it's not too late to relive those precious moments. You've got to date your mate. If he was once your knight in shining armor, or she your damsel in distress, admire the way he looks in a suit. Compliment her on that dress. It's never too early in the morning to show your love. Any time of night is not too late. You've done it before. Do it again. You've got to date your mate. You are blessed to have met one another. Do you doubt that destiny? And after you've erased all the unpleasant memories, would your faults be strengths with someone else? Are you guaranteed to wake up tomorrow to share or see a smile? Will you find a little less rhyme or reason, even see all you have at stake? Have you forgotten so much about the good times that in hindsight they were all fake? Don't let the thin line disappear and turn your love into your hate. It's a chance not everyone gets, so don't take it for granted. You've got to date your mate. Hey, and how many of you needed to hear that message? I'm not talking to the soldiers right now. I'm talking to you. Either for yourself or your partner. Realize the lust will wither, yet the value must stay. Find the value. Have a wonderful and safe weekend. If you like your colorful copy of the poem, and you're not on my mailing list, just send me an email requesting it, sporty@sportyking.com, or drop on into Facebook or LinkedIn and get your copy of a little bit easy for me to say, colorful keepsake PDF copy. I'm Sporty King, and I wish you a happy Gift Friday. And remember that God is for today. Stay safe. Ciao.